Recording.
On l'enregistre direct.
Recording.
Blue moon, I saw you standing alone. And the rest of the words to that song. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sober Swirl podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
Woo!
I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
What's up, everybody?
And before we get started, I'd love to give a shout out to Royalty Nutrition. To help me out with that always, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Warhorse.
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Royalty Nutrition is a veteran-owned and operated supplement company that doesn't automatically go to using the cheapest ingredients possible while making great supplements for you to help you along your fitness journey. Check them out and use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. My next shout out of the evening will be to Gorilla Gains. That's Gorilla-Gains with a Z.com. They are a fitness apparel company that you can wear comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment to help keep you safe while you train. Use the discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on that order as well. My last shout out of the evening will be to me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Patreon.com/HakeJoward. On Patreon, I have decided that for people not really wanting to spend too much money, I have created a training log tier, which is $5 a month, and it's where I post my training regimen, what I did that day, the date, and what's going on. And you can then use that to either try and follow and keep up, or use it to try to get some ideas of where you're trying to go. But if you're interested in the other tiers, I have one that is just my writings and blog style posts, like status, physique updates and things like that. And I also do once a month, I do a solo show called Hake Rants. Support your boy, patreon.com/HakeJoward. DJ Swirl, tell him about the Buy to Buy Empire.
Woo!
That's right, Buy to Buy, where we specialize in fast, friendly, on-demand moving, delivery, staging, TV mounting, and assembly. Where we help everyone from housewives shopping at HomeGoods to bros DIYing it at Lowe's, but most often property managers and real estate agents moving their clients from their current space to their new place. They say teamwork makes the dream work. But what about that nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, life doesn't play fair. So when you lack time or you have a bad spine, we are here to support you in peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. This, what you see here, is the creativity side of my business, which is Buy to Buy Studios, creative consulting and content creation, helping boutique brands boost their presence online. From simple posts, reels, and stories, all the way to what you see here, full-fledged podcasts and live streaming. So we are creativity customized, providing high quality, low stress, remote control. Hit us up everywhere you are at Buy to Buy Studios or buytobuy.com/studios. Jake, once in a blue moon.
Once. And then once on a blue moon. But who knows? Maybe in 14 years when the next one comes about, we'll be doing the same thing. We'll see how it goes. So I was telling you before the show what's so special about a blue moon. I'm not talking about astrology and what's your sign shit. A blue moon happens. It's the second full moon of a month. So I don't know if you pay attention to the night sky too much, but that doesn't happen too often. And then the reason why it's a super moon is because the moon is the closest to Earth in its orbit right now at the same time. So it's going to be a big bright fucker out there.
And you were saying that I need to ask my dad about his time spent in the ER. That full moon
Yes.
make people go.
Well, so if you talk to anybody that works in nursing homes or is in the ER or like an urgent care specific, I've heard this from multiple people in the medical field. It's always like on full moons, it's always our worst nights. Or uh, insurance people that work at call centers. Usually, the days of full moons have their weirdest calls or like their worst customers call in.
Got you.
I mean, like there's always assholes in call centers. I mean, I can speak to that personally,
Yeah,
but
that
like it's on full moon days, it's usually like, what the hell's going on? Why is it? Pardon me. Still getting over a little funk that my loving little angel brought home.
the yearly or the semesterly.
Yeah, quarterly.
Yeah. Uh, Luckily, I haven't gotten sick in a while. It's just been like reactions to food. So like I've had stomach issues, but nothing that's kept me. I've had like, and it's like a 24-hour bug. So I'll be down 12 hours, be up the next 8 struggling, and then I'll be back to normal there too. But
No, it's I don't know. I don't know what these kids get, who they're rubbing snot on or what.
it's a matter of
But
time. I'm gonna get sick at some point. It's
oh
I'm
yeah,
at this point. My wife's a teacher, and
Listen,
both kids are at the same school.
mm,
My odds are pretty high.
yeah. It's. I'm sorry, buddy, but it's coming.
Oh, well.
Shoot. But anyway, I sold my first dozen eggs the other day.
Woo!
Mixture, all duck, all chick.
It was all chicken. I was coming back from the big operation in Florence where the eggs are currently being made. And I was hitting you up, so I could come drop them off if you're somewhere nearby.
Oh,
But one of the dads at Ruthie's school was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, right now I'm chicken farming." And he was like, "Shoot, you got that means you have fresh eggs." I was like, "I have a dozen in the van right now." He goes, "How much you want for them?" I was like, "I don't know, $5." So there you go.
hold on a second. Didn't we have this whole discussion about business potential, right?
Yep.
And is that
Well,
price range was when we had that conversation, or you just threw it out there?
I, I just threw it out there because it was just a friendly conversation on the spot.
What is a dozen eggs go at the store right now?
Dude, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I haven't bought eggs in a while now.
yeah. If you guess, more or less,
I'd say probably it might be less now.
less than $5. But farm fresh,
Yeah,
that's the extra, right?
farm fresh, and it was delivered right to you, right then
Right.
and there.
Yeah, no doubt, no
Your,
doubt.
your convenience was there. Welcome to America, baby.
I have to look it up after the show. What does
Yeah.
a dozen eggs go for right now? Because I know eggs aren't cheap, but
No, but
so
I
what is this
spend.
challenge that you posted about today?
Oh, yesterday.
Yesterday.
So my buddy Rick and I were just talking back and forth, and I've done work with Rick before, and I've known Rick since literally preschool, and he was like, "Hey man, how would you feel about doing like a friendly weight loss challenge?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm on my march down to 190 to see what's up anyway."
Yep.
I was like, sure, you know, that's just more fuel to my fire. And he goes, "Okay, well, how long do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Let's go 2 months." "Okay, when do you want to start?" And I was like, "September 1st." So I called him out yesterday. And I tagged his band in it. For those of you interested in rock music, check out Burden of the Sky. My buddy Rick is the drummer. And I was like, what did I say? I said, you're going down in weight, but so am I, but more. This is you you made a mistake. You're in my arena. This would be like me challenging you to a drum off.
So you think there's no competition?
Oh, I'm gonna smoke it.
And you said how long is the challenge?
It's 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
And oh, is this? I thought I turned my mute on. Did it not mute when I hit my button?
Western states average about $5 per dozen eggs.
Okay.
Organic fed hens fetching up to 6. Oh, that's in 2018. What?
Trying to tell me I screwed up? Could have got $1 an egg.
Charge between $5 and $8 per dozen eggs. You did a good job, man. You hit them on the low end.
No. Oh, I hit my button here. I was wondering if I was muted on the stream.
Oh, I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Okay. Didn't know.
Oops.
You're good.
Yeah, I hit the mute button when I'm gonna like cough, and then apparently that didn't do anything.
I appreciate the effort.
I'm doing my best. I'm just trying to do my best.
So what are the stakes?
There are none. I think it's just
Friendly competition.
seeing friendly competition. Yeah.
I can't do friendly competitions anymore because the people who get involved with them tend to make excuses, and when something at stake, people take it more seriously. So
Mhm.
I am a co-commissioner to this fantasy football league that's coming up. Our draft is on Sunday, and yeah, like I make sure that I'm on top of my stuff, and so I know that I am the most motivated when there is something to play for, whether that's money, whether that's bragging rights, whether that's the loser of the league has to do something embarrassing, whatever that turns into. I'm game for all of that. I'm just a competitive person, but adding money to the pot, my focus will stay there. So the league I'm doing this year is both fantasy and pick'em, and so each week you set your lineup, hope for the best. Same thing, head to head matchups. It's basically a giant parlay every week, and so you go through and you try to get as many games right as you can. Whoever calls the most games right, uh, each week wins part of their prize or wins part of their buy-in back. So it's supposed to keep everybody engaged. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna set up some of the live. I'm gonna use this eCam and try and do some of the live streaming with the games and all that for people who want to tune in the league and use it as an opportunity for people to talk junk to one another. Add side bets, whatever that comes to. I just want to make it engaging and fun, so that way people don't taper off when injuries happen, when their team doesn't perform. So that's just me. My business, I built my business to be very physical. So I'm
Mhm.
out moving these
Excuse me.
50, 60-pound scooters, moving this 300-pound furniture, doing all this stuff. I actually turned down a gig today that was a sewing machine that was industrial, and it was up spiral stairs.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So it would have taken at least 4 people with straps and they had like travertine on the stairs, so it was like problematic all around. So I'm passing. I passed that off to a different company. I was like, I think that they have heavy duty uh, gear to help you out do that. So I literally passed it to a competitor because I want to make sure they got taken care of. But I'm not going to do that. So, but yeah, I keep myself very active. I'm in an indoor golf club now, so I've been golfing. I think I went 10 times this month. So my back is the loosest it's ever been because I I'm killing the ball. Like I hit a 300-yard drive 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I hadn't done that in a long.
Nice.
So I joined this basketball league, so I'm gonna do that Sundays as well. But yeah, man, I'm just so the competition's with myself, and so the more the more I put my body under duress, the more I get paid, straight up. So I mean, I feel good. I think I look decent right now. I'm carrying my weight well. So the work is coming in. So that's I had to build that in my business because I want to take myself seriously. Because going
Yep.
into these sedentary jobs at an office in a cube somewhere, man, when walking is exercise, nah, nah, I can't buy into that culture. So, and
Yeah.
I was depressed. I was unhappy because of the way I felt about myself, knowing that I was sitting on my ass for so long every day, not caring about what I was doing. So I literally had to get up and get out, and I've not sat down since. So that was something I did as a DJ. Our unwritten rule was no chairs, and even when it was like I'm just playing dinner music, like I would still try to stand up, just because it's an endurance thing, and so
Hmm.
um yeah, that was just built into me from my dad. I know, and my dad will always say I'm a better DJ. I will always say he's a better entertainer because that man danced all over the place and high energy, all this. So like, just seeing him do that and understanding the reasons why he did it, that it was like a little competition with yourself, and every time you get that little W, it pays off. So people are noticing the business. People are noticing. I got invited to play in a basketball league. So like, I don't think they'd do that if I was out of shape or if I looked like I couldn't hang.
Yep.
I'll take that as a little compliment and try and do work and contribute. So yeah, this is the most swole I guess I felt at 40. It took me to 40 to get there, but better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, man. It is what it is sometimes. Jesus.
I've
I'm
just
so sorry.
You're good, man.
I,
Do you have water? You have tea?
I've got water. I've done breathing treatments. I've got uh,
You got dip in?
cough syrup. Huh?
You have dip in?
No, never in my life.
Gotta be good for the throat.
Well, yeah, you know.
Nature's lozenge. Ay, I haven't seen you take a drink. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, you have right there. I'm lying.
I'm sorry.
Vitamin Banana wants to know if you're all right.
Vitamin banana.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. Just got the coffees.
What is the hair of the dog? What is that a reference to?
So the hair of the dog is it's the hair of the dog that bit you, and it's the foal. And what that is when you're trying to get ahead of a hangover,
You drink again, right?
you drink again,
Oh,
whatever it was you were drinking the night before. Yeah,
I was just trying to think about it with your throat, tickling your throat.
man,
Might be some dog hair in there. Who knows?
there literally might be some dog hair in there.
Or rooster hair.
Yeah, just huffing George feathers on a regular basis. I had them all out in the yard today. He's so he's trying to assert his dominance more often now.
He's been given
And
every
it's
two. So
well, and it's funny because he'll do the thing like he's jumped up, feet up at Wyatt, my
ooh,
stepson, and then he doesn't even like walk sideways at me. Wyatt's like, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" And it's like I'm not scared of him, and he knows who Daddy is.
yeah.
Like you can't. It's an animal. It's an animal instinct thing. If he thinks he can punk you out, he's going to try.
Wyatt's also a lot smaller than you.
He's a lot smaller than me,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to set that in. It's like he's not a natural predator. He's just somebody he thinks you're invading his territory. You're trying to steal his women or whatever. But no, you got to let him know when you're around, you're the boss. Well, how do you do that? You kick the shit out of that bird if he hasn't.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't tell my girls that. My
Why
dog
not?
my dog bullies the shit out of my girls, and it's not because he's mean. He just knows that he can his body size. Like if he's trotting to go somewhere and he sees them coming, he doesn't alter his path. He runs right into their legs. Jeez, Trey. But like, and in terms of with his toys and all that, like my oldest makes the mistake of trying to play with him the way that I do. And I only play with him because he wants me to. Like, I would
Hmm.
rather cuddle, love on him. No, he wants to wrestle, bite, play fetch, all of that. So we go in, and I don't get to see him and hang out with him as much during the day. So I'm trying to make sure that he gets winded when we're playing. So when we get going, and then he gets that whatever that is with the dogs where they hit that button where they bolt back and forth.
Uh-huh.
Not care, bro. He's out, and then he bowls my kids. And so anytime they try to they try to use their dad voice, it does not work. So I'm not even trying to. I tell them to stop. I tell them to stop. So
Oh man! So my dog that my dad got for his first Father's Day was a male Basset Hound named Tyrone, and he'd do stuff like that. Except when he was done, he was like, "I'm done." And he'd lay like right wherever he got tired.
yeah,
It's awesome. I try to do that stuff with Cleo, and she'd play like kinda, but like Flash is not about that life at all. Why are you being mean? I just want to love you. Why do you want to wrestle? I don't understand. Moo, moo. Oh man. He was howling something today. I think it was there's a coyote that was walking around the neighborhood yesterday. Saw it when I was taking the kids to school. I was just trotting through someone's front yard.
Yeah.
Oh. So I had to call Brittany, and I was like, "Hey, if you hear a bunch of noise in the backyard, you're going to need a gun."
nice.
Yeah, because that means that this coyote was hungry enough to chance at jumping the fence to get past the dogs to get to the chickens. So please shoot that wild animal. The sheriffs, when they roll up, will understand.
Speaking of police, man, there was a presence over. I went and did that ride along.
Yeah.
Last night. Was that last night? Night before? I don't know. The days are blending together at this point. But yeah, it's right down the street from where the big homeless population is downtown Phoenix. And so we used to serve that area through #lunchbag, but things have gotten worse. The pandemic, hottest summer on record, all those things. And so they have done their part. It reminds me of Normandy, like the beach where they had those post ups so the boats couldn't get close or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And so they have those where they would set their little tents up, the camps up. And it's like, it's a war zone essentially. And so I was talking to the guy who was driving, and I was like, "What's your experience been being in proximity to all of that?" He's like, "It was wild." He's like, "Dumpster fires every night, like obviously everything else." And so he said, "Police presence nightly," and he was like, "There was a situation where someone got stabbed and then dropped off at their warehouse." So he came in because his shift is at night, and so he came in and he said a dozen cop cars. It was all taped off. He's like, "Yeah, it happened right." And I looked at he was like looking down where we were standing. I was like, So how last week when you asked me, you're like, "If we do this, can I arm myself?" And I'm like, "This is Arizona, bro."
Yeah.
I will see what the fine print says, but this is an open carry state. So
This is a concealed carry without having a concealed license state, baby.
Right. So
because I'm armed all the time. No one knows.
But they've got, my wife and I, we had a conversation about it because she volunteered. We were volunteered together. We brought the kids a few times. And yeah, it's, when mental health is the most unstable it can be because of their circumstance, it's like you don't get surprised when people get desperate and do things out of pocket. So just don't let yourself be a victim, I guess. So I don't know what that means exactly for me, but I am shopping.
Oh, hey, if you want, we can go shopping, buddy. I can hold your hand and skip through the aisleways with you. Excited like a little kid at the toy store. Come on, over here.
Nah, man, that's not the kind of experience I want. It's a business experience, and it's a literal business expense. So,
Fine.
so so if you want to skip and go up and down and touch everything, that's all you.
Dude, I love gun stores.
I will just go in prepared and then try and find something reasonable and efficient.
I'll have to take you out here to Ted's.
Okay.
That's it's the range and store out here in Queen Creek.
Yeah.
No, not really. Yeah, just outside of Queen Creek. Ted's Rules.
Shout out kids.
And then
I mean, outside of my
oh
safety,
yeah,
by myself, it's dark. Like I have to lock up in and out, going back and forth between the warehouse. Like it's you are putting yourself in a position to be compromised. Like
yep.
if someone really cared, or if someone didn't care, I guess, and saw an opportunity, I just want to make it harder for them. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm something to play with, so don't. But also, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm out here just working. So mind your business on my mind. Cool. Someone comes up to me, they want to cause static. I will defend my domain, but
Yep.
fingers crossed it won't get to that point. So
Yeah, I just we're talking about it in the routes and things. I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's outside of the fact of having a phone on you and having your wallet and other stuff that people might try and take advantage of. Or I do creative stuff all the time, so I might have additional equipment with me in the event I can get video or something like that. So last thing I want to do is just have a passerby jack my stuff, because one of the most frustrating things, in my opinion, is someone stealing something from you, like from a vehicle. Like, I don't know if I've been as upset with like other stuff, especially with people, than I have with people. When I went outside to take my younger brother to high school. I think I was a freshman in college. I commuted to ISU. I went to take him to school because he was late. I went outside, bro. My car was ripped to shreds in my driveway. Like, we don't live in a bad neighborhood. People just knew I had a sound system and they took advantage of it. Like, I had an alarm too. I don't know what happened, but I went outside. I went to open up my door and it's just guts. And I had a couple of 15-inch subwoofers that they couldn't get out of my trunk. So I got to hold on to that. That was probably the most important piece. But yeah, man, I had my catalytic converter stolen before, and all those times it's like, come to me, come at me. Like, don't fuck with my property. Like, that's just, I don't know. It feels very low.
Well, that's always one of the arguments people see about people that retaliate and shoot their mugger, or someone that broke into their home, and they're like, was your stuff worth taking a life? It's like their life was worth my stuff. Like, that's
the amount of truth in that. Like, if I kiss someone in the act and they don't stop, and all those circumstances or all of those variables are present, I'm not aiming to kill. I'm aiming to maim. I'm aiming to slow down. I'm aiming to hinder. I understand what the law is. I understand what the law is. I'm just saying, whether that's involved with bullets or not, I'm trying to incapacitate them so that way the police can come do their job.
With firearms, you cannot maim.
No,
you will go to prison.
I understand. So I'll figure something out. But the idea that someone will attack or try to steal from me, and then not, if I'm up to it, if I'm up to it. But again, I'm not trying to risk it all. So believe me, it's a very unique circumstance, a very, very, very tiny hypothetical. But like,
I'll learn you something off the air.
Look forward to it. Talk about life not being fair.
Yeah.
That works sometimes.
No, man, that's always my thing too. It's like I carry all the time, and it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna shit someone today, baby. No, it's like usually I'm toting children with me, and it's at this point it's at minimum 2 out of 6, and I'm not going to risk somebody thinking that my vehicle is the one to try
Yeah.
with my kids with me. Nope. I think it'd be better to take the kids to therapy to have to explain why daddy shot that dude than them me
Then
getting my ass
lose-
beaten, them kidnapped or some shit and sold.
This is the first part. Just them
Yeah.
having the core memory of you getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
That's it. That's enough. Like, just to cancel that
I'm
out.
no slouch in the fight game, and like I would rather handle things with my hands
Yep.
first. But if I cannot, and my children and or myself are in danger of losing life or limb, I'm sending you to hell.
But I mean, your neighbor sees your kids as an opportunity. Comes right at you.
Dude, he really just wants me to beat his old ass. I think he wants me to take him out. Like, he wants me to put him out of his misery. I think that's exactly what it is.
No. Misery loves company. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite. You provide him entertainment.
And I get to go. Call the cops.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I don't want it to get to that. And I said, then you have nothing to talk to me about. I'm doing nothing illegal. I'm doing nothing within the sound laws or noise laws, decibel levels.
Oh,
You're just annoyed.
you think that he's gonna come at you with a law problem? Like with a
No, but that was my whole thing. I was like, no, listen, if you want to talk to me ever again, you better have a cop standing next to you so we can both laugh at you.
That's your next door neighbor.
That's my next door neighbor. And I am nice to everyone else are in this neighborhood. I go out of my I went out of my way to be nice to them when I first met them. Creepy fuck. But like I'm not a bad neighbor. My trash is out in time. Maybe I forget to bring the trash can every so often after trash day. But like we mind our own business. We wave. We're like
Neighborly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
our yard isn't trashed.
But if that guy has done right by other people, they'll speak poorly on your name.
That's fine.
Because of him.
Hey, and that's fine. That's fine. Because I don't need him. I mean, there's a difference between being neighborly and nice to neighbors, and then there's I don't fucking need them. I have
forced proximity.
Yeah, I have a small town in my house. I don't need it.
You just happen to live next to them. Wasn't planned. No. Wasn't on purpose. Happenstance. That forced proximity, man. That is something I wish someone did a study on, because that's why I'm so intrigued by like remote learning. Is like if you go through your yearbook, any given year, high school, let's say, how many of the people in your class did you actually fuck with? Did you choose to have relationships with? What percentage? Half?
Oh, honestly, no, more than. Honestly, I tried to more than half for sure, because I tried to be like I wasn't ever in a specific like clique.
Right?
Like I floated, dude.
Same way. I was the same way.
I could go and do, game night with the dorks, and then like go to the jock party, and then like whatever. Like I tried to float.
Did that ever cause you problems?
No.
That caused me multiple problems because of how I look, because how I present, and I'm never enough of one thing, so I'm never good enough to be a thing.
Mm.
frequently from any and all sides. Of course, dumb kids, racist parents, whatever that means, right? Like there are
Yeah.
that's learned behavior. So looking back, you understand that. But when the hillbilly when you went to a bonfire the weekend and then you came back to school on Monday and the hillbilly in the camo jacket shoves your face in the water fountain while you're getting a drink, there's always that one person who is like your neighbor. So
Yeah.
when you play basketball with everybody and everybody likes playing with you, and then you embarrass one person and then they take it out on you and try to fight you on the way back from lunch. There's always that one person who other people speak well of to this day. And I'm just like, yeah, he tried to fight me for because I blocked a shot. Like, I've gotten that, and I got it recently in my business. So it was just like the same thing, but you said it all. You said it perfectly. You said you don't need them, and
Nope.
that's clear as it comes.
That's one thing I've learned in my my old age. Your people are going to be your people. They'll ride for you, and if they don't, they're not your people, and you don't need them.
Yeah. But it's another situation of forced proximity. Didn't choose to be this close to the person, but had to because of the association.
Yep.
So, but again, I want to study. I want to know more about this because so much of the friction in my life has come from on the back end of forced proximity, to where people who got on my case, I would have probably not associated with them had given the option. So put them in that bucket and keep it moving.
Well, and me, I'm so oblivious a lot of the time. Like you remember, like you talk about, you not presenting one way or another. Like when we first met, I had no idea that you were, white and black. I had no clue. I was like, oh, he's like Persian or something. Like whatever. Like.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's always something. Never there's
But
really that they can put their hand on it, but
yeah, but I was just and you're like, yeah. I can't remember how I got brought up, and I was like, huh. Well, I'm fucking dumb.
it was probably Paul saying, I thought he was a devil.
Yeah, I was like,
What at the time. But
I'll just have to
it's
lock that out here.
It's one of those things where people see you and you operate with confidence, and because they have not seen that or they don't see it very often, they see it as a threat. Literally just trying to add value where you think you can add it. And because being a multi-hyphenate, being good at several different things, it's like they're only able to be good at one or a couple things, and I'm good at most things I do. So it's like
I am not comfortable around people that aren't confident.
it's the anti. People like, why don't you feel the same way? Oh no, I acknowledge your feelings. I just have developed emotional intelligence that allows me to see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And to give it the appropriate value.
It's confusing to me. I would rather be in a room full of people that are like, this is
cocky?
This is me. This is
no. Just confident.
Confident.
Okay.
It's understanding who you are and what you bring to the table.
How much of that
cocky
is military experience?
How much of that is military experience? That probably has a big deal. Has a big amount to do with it. Because who would you rather go to war with? The guy that's like, I don't know, guys, or the guy that's like, fuck yeah.
Well, it's like, in terms of competition, it's like I would rather play with the people who I struggle against because they are good than play with a bunch of people I know I can eat or I can eat up. Like, that's not fun for me. Yeah, I'll look good. Yeah, whatever. But I'm not trying to showboat with a bunch of people who I know who are on my level. That's not fun for me. I would rather struggle and compete with other people who are at least as good as me. If not, I would rather play with people who are better than me because I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better.
A guy I know named Pedro Ramirez, He's a pretty big deal coach now out in Texas. I love him. He does great work, and he's a former Marine himself. He's a Marine himself. Pardon me.
There you go.
I know.
Hey.
I'm breaking my own rules, but
Bro.
no, but he was in the infantry back in the day, and like we bonded over that and talked. He's a really cool guy. But he said something the other day on his stories. He's never like, if he wants to blatantly talk shit to someone, he'll call them out, which is really cool. But his blatant statements hit a lot of people at once. Like he's got, when he drops a truth bomb, it's like mad collateral damage.
Right.
But so he
know that.
coaches people all the way from the local level all the way up to pros now, and it was something along the lines of, when all you do is go to shows where you know you're going to win, why are you surprised when you go up to the next level and get your ass beat?
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and that, yeah, you know, if I'm not in the best physical shape that I'm in, but if I, you know, lean down real easy and I go to a show where I know there's 4 people in it and I got a pretty good shot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then if I took that and I was like, okay, nationals, here I come, I'd get slaughtered. They'd laugh me off the stage, you know?
It's funny. It's like that. Do you ever play poker?
I tried. I don't have a poker face.
Okay.
My whole face is too expressive.
So that's like the premise of a poker table, right? It's like if you sit down at the table and you look at everyone else sitting down and you can't get a read on anybody, or you feel like you struggle to get a read, you're the mark at the table. And so you have to learn to understand people's mannerisms, you know, you watch how they play, blah, 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 blah. And so all that takes time, but when you get familiar playing with the same people, or, you know, you can put it into a persona type to where they have similar behavior patterns. So it's like, it will definitely help you. I feel I am looking at getting back into playing poker because I used to be pretty decent, but I would never cross that threshold because I would be more focused on the competition side of it than reading the person correctly. And so getting the W from the read instead of, well, you know, like it's just like golf. The harder you try to swing at the ball outside of what your normal is, the worse it tends to wind up, because you're going against your own mechanics and the way that the clubs are designed. The ball flight, it's supposed to work a certain way, and when you force the issue, it doesn't work out the same way. So I don't know, that's just been my experience.
I've been thinking about trying to find like a wrestling club, an old man wrestling club or something. Maybe getting into jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
But I like that you versus another person kind of sport.
Yeah.
Where it's, here are your rules, stay within your rules, may the best man win kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think I need it. But we'll see. Well, I have a lot of irons in the fire right now, so I have to figure out which one's worth branding.
Right.
Hold on to brand.
Like that analogy.
Well, I think the fingers in the pie is overplayed.
What else we got going on?
I got a job interview tomorrow. I won't say where, but it is a nighttime stocksmith position. Not out of embarrassment, but actually out of humility. I will say, fatherhood in general has been lesson after lesson in patience and humility. And this is a get humble moment.
I the offer to do the Mission Foods route, like
Yeah.
I don't feel any embarrassment about that at all, man.
Oh no, that's not. That's different.
Why is it different?
Well, because that you're in the whole delivery go and do arena. I'm stepping out of
Sure.
what I know and what I do.
I worked for Kroger. I was out.
Yeah. So
I was a cart pusher. I was a bag boy.
I was the lead seafood clerk at a Kroger, man. I am.
See, I forgot about the separation of the seafood section in a
Hell
grocery.
yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
was I was fucking King Dick of Fish in Washington, Illinois. That was so
Uh,
I'm not above any position. It's
yeah, yeah.
just
It's just not what you would
my
have picked to
my
do.
10-year plan is not matching up.
Yeah. Absolutely. How many kids do you plan on having in that 10-year plan? Did you underachieve?
No.
Have you always been the dude have you always been the kind of guy who's like, I want 8 kids?
No, I was always thought I'd end up with like 4.
Okay, that's healthy. That's still a healthy number.
Yeah. Yeah. Because at one point in time I was slinging goo left and right, and
Oh boy.
somebody out there is raising a little Howard. They deserve every piece of hell they
Oh,
got for not telling me.
no. No, don't say that, man.
No, I mean it. Where's my kid, bitch?
Oh, I saw something about a guy who's in trouble with the government because he has 550 kids.
What?
It popped up
What?
on the timeline. But yeah, apparently there are guidelines to where there is a threshold. There's a maximum of donations that you can make. And so they are going after him for fraud because he has exceeded the limit. I'm not sure what the number is. I didn't go all the way through it. But yeah, it was a headline on someone that I follow. I think it was Earthquake, one of the comedians I follow. But yeah,
That's
550
wild.
dog. You were talking about little Howard rolling around, bro. Can you imagine that?
That's not like, how do you even like remember names?
That's a whole school system.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think that was in my graduating class.
Oof. That's wild, man. And he's not old. Like he's not an old man. He looks like he's like 40. He's a younger looking guy. And he's just like how
So like,
what's the
are they
norm?
all biologically his, or
Because you've seen those movies where they're like, because you can pick, right? At this point, you can pick like a personality, or they show you a picture of the person. You're like, yep, I want that one.
yeah, like the traits and
Yeah. And so
athletic endeavors and college degrees?
how many of the picks were because of his picture? How many did they choose off of his picture? Like, how does that work?
Well, Miz, shout out to lawyer Miz. He's a donor, and and they let you know if someone chooses your donation for a kid,
your donation,
and he's
your
also
seed,
said
seed.
he's also stated that like when the kid's of age, if they ask, they can have his information.
Yeah.
So
Do you
like,
meet him? Oh, so you're saying that's what you want? That's what you want? You want a long lost Howard to reach out to you?
dude, I have always in my head, like I've known that there's going to be a knock on my door at some point, and it's going to be some.
Well, you're dead. That's your
It's
death.
going to be some. It's going to be some 18-year-old somewhere. And they're like, hey, do you remember so and so? And I'll be like, yeah. Oh no.
Happened is Brittany is going to answer the door, and then he's going to go, "Is this Howard residence?
Now I'm gonna hear, oh shit, the heck? That's not how my wife sounds.
And she's
Fucking bullshit!
that's good. That's the best call you made all night, sir.
So I'm gonna put this on Spotify. And that's where she listens to the show. And
Yeah.
I have to cover my ass on that one.
But yeah, Brittany answers the door. They have a full-fledged conversation. You come home with the kids, and you're just like, "Who's this stranger?" And she goes, "You're." Oh man.
Look at him. He looks just like you. Like, oh, cool.
So if you do all that, if you go through the process and then you say they can reach out to me, it's after 18, so you're not legally. There's no like money guardianship.
Well, so I know when you do sperm donor stuff, you give up parental rights. Period. So they're not supposed to be able to come after you.
Okay, because you've given up your rights.
Yeah. Like there was a story a few years back of a couple of ladies that were married, and they used a guy they knew's sperm to inseminate one of them, and they had a baby. And then the ladies got divorced, and then they sued him for child support and won.
Fucking bullshit!
Yeah. So it's like,
hopefully, Mr. 550. Oh man, but I mean they're going after him for fraud, so
yeah,
might be worse.
Yeah, dude. So there's no way.
I'm curious.
There's no way.
Curious how many kids you can pull from one sample. Like, there's got to be an average.
What?
For an average healthy sperm donor, how many positive samples? I mean, because it's still a crapshoot, right? Because it's just.
Well, I mean, if they're doing it like IVF style, you can make like multiple viable embryos.
Sure. That's what I'm saying. So is it just because is the insemination process, is it as small of a dosage that sticks as you can, or are you just flooding the airways? You know what I mean? Because it's an game, so your odds go up of getting pregnant if you got a higher percentage. So I'm just looking at the science.
This is the first part that went into my head. Was, I'm not gumming up her pipes. I don't want it.
So I mean, 550, dog. Just think about that.
That's insane.
Just think about that in terms of masturbation. Just pleasure itself. If he's 55 and has done it 550 times, that's 10 times a year, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty low. And then start working your way up because he's not 55. And two,
how many women is this?
Do what?
How many women is this?
It's 550 children, my guy.
I know, but how many women is this spread out amongst?
Take 80% at least. He's in a catalog that just he's got a great headshot. He's done well for himself. He comes from a nice background.
Oh, so he was a donor?
Yeah. And they're going after him because the amount of children that was produced from his sample size goes against the regulation. Yeah.
So was he claiming these kids as dependents?
Bro, his information, just think of it like a FEDRA. Back in the day, you had to show your ID. There's a process, right?
Yeah.
So he made many trips to the bank, deposited funds, and there have been 550 withdrawals.
So I was confused. So I thought this dude was just some random cat walking around the street just getting people pregnant by looking at him or something.
Wow.
And like,
wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's a donor.
He is a depositor.
So how's it his fault?
Because in terms of genetics, the more often you do it, the less potent your dose. And so, in terms of like, just making sure all the chromosomes are where they need to be. You're not getting the diluted version. And so
Mhm.
they do it for the safety of the children.
Okay.
I don't know what that number is, but he went past it. But
So wouldn't the bank he was donating to cut him off?
where is their obligation in all this? They don't have a
Aren't
thresh.
they,
They don't have a blacklist.
I was gonna say, aren't they paying this dude for loads?
Do you think they have a donor blacklist?
They'd have to,
Because he would just go to different locations.
right? But that should be in there a database.
Do you think there needs to be a database so that way someone use it?
Frequent jizzers.
Oh man, I don't know, but yeah, I feel like there's. If I'm his legal defense, that's my first question.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a doctor and you're just slinging pills, and then they come back and they like, you've been slinging a lot of pills. Your numbers are going up. What's going on? Aren't you supposed to stop at some point? Isn't there a? Aren't you only supposed to prescribe a certain amount? That's what happened with the opioid crisis.
Yeah, I was gonna say before they started cracking down on that shit, that was just
This is just one dude spreading his seed. Lock him up. What? Oh man, I don't know.
this dude has a small Arkansas town.
Yeah.
Of children just out there.
Throw out a number. Don't think about it. What's the threshold? What is the maximum number? 1, 2, 3. 100.
Yeah.
That's my guess. My guess is your donation can only father 100 kids.
Well, there was the big deal with a fertility doctor. There's a whole documentary about him. There's the old man
And he
that
was
these ladies.
right. It was his sample,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Oy.
I can't even remember the number that it was up to. They hadn't even like gotten in contact with all of the kids yet, with the possibility of there being more that they didn't know about. That's so nuts. Ugh.
The ASRM guidelines limit a donor to 25 live births per population area of 850,000. Although this is not enforced by law, there is no central tracking, and it has been estimated that only about 40% of births are reported. If only 40% of his births equal 550, dog. He's over 2K. It is likely that some donors have over 100 genetic children. Holy cow, dude. Yeah, so it is not enforced and there's no central tracking. So how is he liable outside of their terms and conditions, which it has to. Here it is, the first thing that popped up. He faces legal action. He's Dutch.
Okay. So is he? So this is not a United States lawsuit?
No, he's 41 years old. Has fathered at least 500 kids around the world. This man is a traveler. A woman who conceived a child in 2018 using his sperm is behind the lawsuit.
Okay.
He donated to at least 13 clinics in the Netherlands and overseas.
Okay.
If I had known he had fathered more than 100 children, I would have never chosen him. She chose him. See? She chose him.
Right.
When I think
Like, how's that his fault?
I get a feeling of the gut and I become insecure about his future. How many more children are added? Going to court is the only way to protect my child. Yo. Offered his sperms under the counter. Oh, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with that. So she has buyer's remorse.
Okay. So
She's unhappy.
wouldn't she?
She's unhappy with the mileage that was reported.
So shouldn't she be suing the clinic?
Any of the 13 clinics?
Yeah. How is it that dude's fault? He was just like, oh, I just go nut in a cup over here. They give me $50. Now I'm off to the next town.
Had I known not fathered that many children, I wouldn't have chosen him. She chose him, dude.
Right. And that show you women making choices. We got to stop that.
Easy.
Fucking bullshit!
Fucking breaks, cuz. Captain, I've got a Howard out here somewhere. Silly dog. You're silly.
Me and my house full of girls.
Yeah.
I believe that one. I believe that line wholeheartedly.
Me too. Me and Dre. Dre's the only other guy. So
Yeah, it's me, Wyatt, and Christopher holding it down. This loud house.
all right, sir. So are we gonna try and get our guest on next week? If you're able to speak.
Yeah. So she has a pretty strict schedule. She tries to get to bed on time. She's really interesting. You know, she's does a lot of inner work and on her sobriety and on herself, and obviously with like fitness. Then she does like she gets like in bed at a certain time. So she was saying,
let's move up our schedule.
Yeah, she was saying 9:30 her time is too late. So yeah, I mean, that's why I started that group chat. If we get that hammered out, I think she'd be a great guest.
Awesome.
Because
let's work that out.
Yeah, she's married. She's very like positive, and then like the cool thing I've noticed about her and her stories and interactions, especially on Instagram, is she'll let you know when stuff's bad and what's going on, and then she's like, "Hey, I'm taking a break. I'll see you when I see you," kind of thing. And like she's very like genuine. Nice. You know, saying someone's real is overused these days, but she's very genuine.
Yeah.
And so I think her story would be good for our purposes, other than us giggling about jizz clinics.
Yeah. and your comment right after that, I think.
Women and their choices
indicated the necessity in addition to the conversation. So we'll work on that. But next week we got a guest for you, for the audience. So might be a different time though. So let's work this weekend to try and knock that out, and then set that up, because I got the graphics already done. Because I thought that.
I mean, right. We also have the technology. If we need to pre-record, we can.
That's correct, sir. We are past the hour threshold. You have something going on in your throat, so I think we ought to.
Yeah, it's starting to get worse. I gotta take my nighttime Mucinex with this soothing menthol. You know, I have no problem shouting out brands that help me out, man. Fucking pay me. But
Stupid dog. You were silly. For the sober swell. I'm not gonna steal it. That's your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Sober Swirl podcast. Once again, my name is Jake Howard.
And I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, it's Warhorse. Do you want your workouts to look like this? Or do you want your workouts to slay? When Warhorse picks his pre-workout, he wants it to slay. If you want second place, go with somebody else. If you want to be a champion, go with Royalty Nutrition.